Alright, YouTube, I want to explain to you what a zombie is. You may have heard about the zombie apocalypse. You know, I haven't really got into a full study of what the zombie apocalypse is, but when I was speaking with one of my friends whose son is in the military, and they were talking about Jade Helm, he brought up my friend, after speaking with his son, brought up to me in a conversation the zombies, or I can't remember if he said a zombie apocalypse, but I was assuming, and I didn't ask him, but I was assuming that his son was saying something about zombies. I believe that this country, this bankrupted country who is under the control of our military and our government, is brainwashing these military men into thinking that that those of us who are living are zombies, and that just falls under the principle of the little child saying, if you remember when you were a kid, what you say to me bounces off me and sticks to you. It's funny how people will call someone a name when they are actually that name. So I believe that this came about, I think it's the government trying to claim that we are zombies, when in actuality this side over here is the zombie. So I always say that, I gotta work on my English. So I am going to try to explain to you what a zombie is according to the Bible. I guess you could say this is the beast right here. So anyway, over here you have the living, over here you have the dead. And then what turns you from the living and turns you into the dead is this right here. Because I guarantee you lack understanding of what this is if you are still contracting with it. You know, I'm not going to say that you're not a child of God if you are contracting with it. I'm just going to say that you lack understanding and these times that we are living in. But anyway, I am going to explain to you the characteristics of the living and the dead, and what the zombie is. Okay, over here you have the living, over here you have the dead. Over here, the living, they live within their means. They don't borrow. That's a curse. Deuteronomy 7, and I'm talking about a nation mostly. And you need a birth certificate to borrow, so just remember that. So the Bible says, "Oh no man anything." Deuteronomy 28 says, "If it comes to pass that you do not hear my voice and obey my commands, cursed you will be. The stranger that is in your midst will rise high above you. He will lend to you, you will not lend to him." It says that if it comes to pass that you do hear my voice and obey my commands, blessed you will be. You will lend to many nations and not borrow. So the living live within their means. The dead, well, they just can't get enough. And we can see that our country is 18 trillion in debt. We just can't get enough. We can't suck enough out of the taxpayer to fund our programs to take care of the people, because the dead don't have God. 2, gold. A lot of God's people don't understand the importance of gold as a money system. God's people didn't even understand it when God rescued them out of Egypt. God had his people inquire the Egyptians of their gold because he wanted to make a great nation of them. And what did God's people do? They lavished gold out of the bag. They hired a goldsmith to make it into a god. Yea, they bowed down, they worship. America did the same thing. We went off the gold standard. We hired the Federal Reserve through the birth certificate to make our gold into a god. Over here, the dead, fiat currency. They can't live within their means. It's a man-made invention. God made man upright, but they followed many inventions. Since they can't get enough, since they don't have God, therefore God is not giving them, and they're not living within God's economy, they have to make up their own invention. God made man upright, but they followed many inventions. Ecclesiastes 7:29. So, fiat currency, it's a man-made invention, it's an idol. 3, God's economy. Over here, their economy is the blood of others, the life, the labors of other people. Oppression. They suck the life out of the living. Zombie. These guys are zombies over here. They're dead people. They don't have God, so if they see something living, they want to go suck the life out of it. And that's evident because the Constitution was an instrument for the people to restrain the government. Now the dead are restraining the people. They use the Constitution to restrain the people because they're dead. Over here we were sovereign. John Jay, Supreme Court judge in 1793, said at the Revolution, sovereignty devolved on the people and they are truly the sovereigns of the country. Over here, everybody thinks they're the sovereign because they're bankrupted. You know, you try to reason with the cop and they think they're the king. They don't even understand. The Constitution says there shall be no more slavery or involuntary servitude. It's simple. According to the 14th Amendment, it is through the birth certificate that you enter into the dead. You are now living in the grave. The living dead right here. Because you're dead to God. You think that you're the king. You rule over people. You tell them what to do. And you use the sorcery legal language, which is a language of commerce that tricks people and has a lot of power. These people got a lot of power. They have the guns, the jails. Over here, the living, they know the law. Over here, they're benefiting from the whore, Babylon, banks and corporations, through the birth certificate. So they don't know the law. Over here, these people are trying to figure out what's going on. So they look into the law. God's law, man's law. These people, if their boss tells them, hey, we got to watch out for these sovereign citizens. They're a threat to the dead. They're threatening the dead. And they'll say, oh yeah, well I need a paycheck. Yeah, okay, I'll be aware. I could just imagine when a cop is in the meeting room being given instructions. They're definitely not told the law. They may be told the legal language, but these people here don't understand that it's voluntary. They're bankrupted. They're dead. They're zombies. They need the living over here. They need to suck the life out of the living. See, it's voluntary. It's commerce. Sexual intercourse with Babylon. That's what commerce means. College Dictionary. Webster's College Dictionary. Look it up. Commerce is sexual intercourse. Voluntary. There's no law that says you have to have this. But now that the whole nation is dead, anybody who is in contract with the image, this is the image of the beast because this is the beast. When you sign to this to the image, you become the beast. This is the image of the beast. This is the image of you if you are in contract. These are an abomination. Deuteronomy 7:29, abomination. Look it up. Voluntary. You're voluntarily entering into commerce with the dead. Man-made inventions. Zombie. Over here you're a zombie. Because you're sucking the life out of the living over here. Yep.